Outlander.
Welcome, Retro Sega Wonder Show. Tonight we're going to play some Outlander, which is a driving, walking, punching game for the Sega Genesis. The goal of the game is to get from one place to another place. Along the way, you encounter towns that you have to stop at to resupply at, and people you need to walk around and punch and all that. So this is the main part of the game, the driving part in all of its 15 frames per second glory. And you'll notice that there are approximately 5 billion motorcycles on the road as you drive around. In fact, there are so many motorcycles on the road that it usually isn't worth it to try to do combat with them. It's usually best to just avoid them and drive past them. You only bother doing combat with them if they're just right directly in front of you like this. In fact, I'm not sure how easy it is to actually complete the game, if you even can complete the game, because the game starts off with 5 million bad guy motorcycles everywhere, and then as the game progresses, as you get into further areas of the game, then you get about 10 billion motorcycles on the road. So you can already see the way the basic game itself looks as you're driving around. These gauges on the screen give you different bits of information about your car, like how much fuel you have left, and things like that. At the top of the screen are your ammo levels for different sorts of ammo. And otherwise, you drive around and try to get from one town to the next. And the pull-over blinker is going, which means you pull over to the side of the road that the arrow indicates and you stop, and that means you've arrived at a town where you can wander around, punch things, and resupply. Just like this. You have your bangy bit, your punchy bit, and a sort of a jumpy bit. But the best way to deal with people, and there are only 2 types of people in the towns, one type of man and one type of woman, is to just duck and punch. That's all you need to do. Now, you would think that you'd be able to farm supplies, that the people would just keep showing up and you could keep farming supplies from them, but that's not the way it works. They do keep showing up, but eventually they stop dropping stuff. So there's some gas for the car. We are already at max health. Ammo for the car. You can shoot them with your bangy bit, but I like to conserve the ammo. The only time it gets tricky is if more than one person shows up at once. Otherwise, the only other time you might want to use your gun is when opening a barrel, because if you punch the barrels or the crates or whatever, it does a little bit of damage, but if you find some food, it just fixes it right up. Now, there are other times when you pull off the side of the road to try to get supplies when you're not in a town, where you have to deal with some of those 10 billion motorcycles, and that's where your gun really comes in more handy. So more ammo for the handgun. You want to duck as much as you can, more food, and a little barrel to bang bang. And a crate. We actually don't need to pick up any more of the food. We're pretty full on that at the moment. More gas for the car. And Shotgun Lady. Those are basically the only people you'll ever encounter in town, or at least the only people I've ever encountered in town, are Big T-shirt guy and Shotgun Lady. And then if you go off the side of the road, if you park along the road when you're not at a town, then you do get the people driving the motorcycles. Otherwise, if we look at the start menu, if we hit start, you can see where we're starting on the map, right here, and we're traveling through the game world. And there are also about 50 bajillion obstacles on the road. But the motorcyclists will run into those just as easily as you will, so not a big deal. If a motorcyclist does pull up next to you in the game, then it automatically gives you that little picture-in-picture window there with your handgun, to try to deter them from getting too friendly. Every time you arrive at a town, that basically counts as like completing the level. And as you progress through the further levels in the game, the crap on the road really starts getting crazy. All kinds of crazy crap. Crap everywhere, that's crazy. Crazy crap. Yay! The motorcyclists kind of run into each other and everything else just as much as they try to do combat with you. And you don't get anything either for doing combat with them. You really just want to avoid them if you can. And just get to the next town as quickly as you can. And I'm sure you can see that these driving segments run at about 15 frames per second. We should be arriving at the next town pretty soon here, I would think. Of course, when there are a lot of people driving every which way on the road, especially in further levels, I think the frames might go as high as 5 frames per second. It's wonderful technology! But you do have to be careful not to miss the towns. If you pull off the side of the road anywhere else, you can get maybe a few supplies, like 1 or 2 things. But the only places you can really resupply at are the towns. Now, if everyone is so unfriendly in this game world, I don't know how the towns can even stay together. But I suppose friendly towns wouldn't exactly make for a good game. Okay, it's giving us the signal to pull off the road, so we will. And then you just wait, and into the town! Continue awarded. Hey, shotgun lady, how you doing? Knock knock on the crate. Some more gas for the car. You can see the supplies, of course, on the bottom of the screen. We'll just open the crate this way here. And just for the sake of avoiding too much of a complication with the two people at once, we'll just use the gun on the shotgun lady. It also seems like every town decorates pretty much the same way. I don't know what counts as an IKEA store in this particular futuristic setting, but it seems like everyone goes there. You can't get into the houses either. It's just simply a walk left and right and punch simulator. Knock knock, hello, anybody there would like to come in and have a bit of fun? More delightful ammo, and hello, there's our car! Just a little town this time. Basically, my experiences with this game so far are that you just drive and drive until you run out of supplies. And that's pretty much it. And then when you run out of supplies, you pull over to the side of the road and try to get some more supplies. But eventually, you can't get any supplies, and that's the game. I'm not even sure what happens when you get to your destination. You probably have to wander through somewhere and do a whole lot of punching and walking, and then it probably just gives you a hooray you won screen. Seems about right for this game. It seems like it would rather fit the way this game is. Probably not even a fancy animated U1 screen, but just a regular old picture that probably cost them $2 to make. As in the amount of time it took them to make it cost them all of $2. That's my guess! We'll see if we are correct, if we can actually beat the game and not get stuck on the stuff that's on the side of the road. It also doesn't do much good to try to dodge the stuff that's on the road, particularly the people, because they just go all over the place, you know, I mean, they weave all over the place left and right, and dodging them is almost impossible. And the frame count is so very high, so very fluid, that when there are other obstacles on the road, like the barriers, unless you're going really slow, trying to dodge those usually doesn't do much good either. Although you can wait for the motorcyclists to just run into them for you, and that'll take them out. So, that's one strategy you can use. We'll take another look at the map. You can see where we are now as we continue our trip to wherever the heck we're going. Take some of that. Oh, looks like we're approaching another town. Hooray! I believe this is the town where you get missiles for your car. Yes, yes, we'll pull over right here. There you go. Nice and gentle. Now you can see this town looks a little bit different because it has these train tracks here. And some personal armor. Body armor. And missiles for the car. We don't need that because we're already full up. There's some gas for the car, though. That's the main problem with getting hit by some of these other characters, is it makes you straighten up. It makes you stand up straight. But as long as you can keep ducking, you'll be fine. Shells for the handgun is what we have acquired. It's a fancy song that doesn't even rhyme. It's also interesting how your car starts off at one side of the town and then ends up on the other side of the town. Now, if we walked back to the other side of the town, our car would still be there. So it's like a multi-dimensional super magic car. Oh, bugger off. Thank you. And now the craziness continues. See, here's the, these thingies. And you don't have to do anything special to shoot the missile. You just have to line up on them, get... Oh, now there's cars too, by the way, obviously. You just have to line up on them and press your regular fire button. And eventually, it should just fire a missile at them. When it feels like it. And I'm not exactly sure why everybody and everything else out on the road doesn't really like you. That's never explained in the game's deep and rich backstory that you get on the title screen. You know, that's one thing. It used to be that most games didn't have much in the way of a story. If you wanted to know the story of the game, you had to read the instruction manual. But not much was presented in the game itself. Now these days, games that have deep stories often do present the story at the beginning of the game. Something's beeping. What's beeping? Is it fuel? It's gas? Okay, well we'll pull over here. Bye guys! So this is what happens when you pull off the road when you're not at a town. And you have to watch for mines on the road too. That's when the jumping mechanic comes into play. I didn't mean to shoot him. I meant to popify him. See, and then you have these guys, and then you gotta shoot them. Gotta duck them and shoot them. Except those are the ones that get you. The ones that drop the Molotov cocktails. So we're trying to be very careful, because sometimes the mines are hard to see. And you do have to shoot these guys on the motorcycles, otherwise they'll just keep coming back and forth like that. Well, I suppose you could just punch them like that, but it's the ones with the Molotov cocktails that you really have to be careful about and try to avoid. Now here are two mines very close together, and we managed to step on one anyhow from trying to jump over it. Of course, the computer can go across it just fine. Oh, there's some gas that we need. We also need a bit of food, would be nice, please and thank you. I said food would be nice, please and thank you. Weren't you there? There's some, okay. Very nice, very nice. A bit more would be lovely. And I don't know why there are these people just wandering around by the side of the road, because when you're out driving you don't see them. You only see the motorcyclists. But at least we got more gas so we can continue on our journey. Going who knows where. Perhaps the arcade. Or maybe we're simply going out for a pizza. A nice, delicious pizza. Pizza sounds really good. When I was trying to make my lunch today, I was looking for some Hot Pockets or some pizza of some description, knowing full well that I don't have any, but I still had to check just to make sure, because it sounded really good. Alright, let's try to clear the road a bit. We have a pretty good supply of, there we go, there goes one of those missiles. That's right, you have to double tap the attack button to shoot a missile. Come on. I just told the people you gotta double tap, and now you're flying away. Is it wanting us to pull over, or no, we're low on gas again. Low on gas again. Well, let's get past these turn signs here and see if we can pick up more gas. So this is where the game really starts to slow down, I suppose, where you start running out of supplies between towns quite a bit. Hello, hello there, Mr. Motorcycle Drivey. Oh, and we come to a Mr. Punchy Guy, giving us more car ammo, but no gas. And we also could use a bit more food. Oh boy, that's gonna suck. Shotgun lady. Shells for the handgun. I think what it gives you when you just pull off to the side of the road like this is random. I don't think it knows that you need gas and therefore makes sure that you get some gas. It just gives you random stuff. And I don't... Do the motorcycle people have stuff? I wasn't paying attention. I haven't noticed. But look at that sweet parallax scrolling. Isn't it 3D? Well, we didn't get any gas, so all we can really do is shoot out a missile and miss with it. That's okay. We'll just pull forward a little bit and then pull off to the side of the road looking for more gas again. Although here we are at a town. We're just about at a town. There should be more gas there. Okay, good. Pull over here and stop. So now we can get some more supplies. Big, fat, delicious bonuses and a password. For anyone playing along at home, here's the password you need to get to this point in the game. Right there. Look at it. Continuing on. Well, that is nice that the game does offer a password partway through. And now we got some nitro for the car, and some car armor to continue to outfit our car with fun supplies. Although I don't know why you would really need the nitro, considering however fast or slow you go, the road is always full of just tons of crap. Maybe the nitro is just simply to get you to the next town a little bit faster. And again, another town with the same decorating scheme as always. Oh look, there's someone new. It's a dart guy or an arrow guy. Same strategy as Shotgun Lady, though. Although he seems to back up when you get close. Which means the only way to deal with him is like that. Check the map again. Well, if we're simply headed to the left side of the map, if that's the destination, then we're pretty close. Although I doubt that that is the actual destination for the game, because why would it give a password just now if we were about to win the game at the next town? So I'm thinking we're probably halfway through. When we get to the edge of the map, there's probably a new section of map, is my guess. But we'll find out what's there very soon together. And everyone! There's just crap everywhere! And everyone is shooting and trying to run into you and everything. No one is friendly. No one just wants to wave and say hi. Well, at least there's one thing about this setting. It might be something of a post-apocalyptic setting, but at least you know there are plenty of motorcycles. So at least there's one business that's still thriving. I'm trying to shoot off the missiles. Perhaps the missiles need to be coaxed a bit first. Come on then. Well, I think normally the missiles do fire off if you double tap the attack button. I'm not sure why they're being stubborn now, because if you have a look at our ammo supply, we should still have some in supply. There we go. But once again, we're almost out of fuel, so it's back to seeing what we can find over here. Exploring the side of the road outside of a town is really where the game gets tricky, as you've already seen from the motorcyclists like that one that throw the Molotov cocktails. I guess if you're quick enough, you could try to jump out of the way of them, but it's not very easy to do that reliably. Okay, there's a little bit more gas. Just a little tiny bit more and a mine to jump over. Smacky-doo. No, we missed. Smack. Thank you. And one for you. Or perhaps the other direction. There you... dang it. How about now? No? Well, we're just going to keep going then and ignoring you. There we go. Jump over that mine. I think that one gas container is the only bit of supplies we found on this little excursion. Oh well, it's going to have to be enough as we continue our journey to the next town. Are we off the edge of the map yet? No, not quite. It seems like equal to the motorcycle industry is the small helicopter industry. It looks like that business is doing a good business too. Although the car business doesn't seem too bad either. There seems to be plenty of cars, none of which like you, of course, but they're there. Oh, behold, another town swiftly approaches, just in time for us to run out of gas again. Yes, get off the screen, please. I need to see the pullover arrow. No password this time, but this town is actually invested in a wall. And a different type of building to go with it. And some more nitro, which we haven't even used any of the nitro we picked up before. I'm not exactly sure how. Do you double tap the acceleration key? We have plenty of car ammo. What we really need is more gas and more food. Smack, smack, smack. Walking duck, walking duck, walking duck. Well, there's gas. A fair amount, I suppose. I could use a bit more than that, though. And some food, please, would be nice, you know. Oh, look, it's a little bit of fence. I'm not sure what good just this little bit of fence does. But it's there for the aesthetic grace of it. There's some food. Let's open this the easy way. Geiger counter. I guess that lets you make sure that the food you're picking up is good. More missiles, which he just happened to be carrying around with him, because sure, why not? I'm sure they don't weigh much. So handgun ammo and more body armor. And it's another dart guy. We can take out this guy here, get a little bit closer. This is close enough. Take out dark guy. Sorry, lady, I'm going to go get the food. I'll have to come back and play with you later. Oh, it wasn't. I didn't check the Geiger counter. I was busy focusing on shotgun lady. I wonder why the car no longer has that rocket pod on top. I mean, we have plenty of rocket ammo still. Don't know. Nevertheless, we've made it to another town. Check the map again. Maybe we're not heading to the edge of the map. Maybe we're just heading upwards along the map now. So the nitro level is also on the top of the screen. So let's see if we can figure out how to use it. Well, I'm double tapping the acceleration button. That's not doing it. I'm also pressing up and accelerating. And that's not doing it. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe if you hit accelerate and brake at the same time? No. Accelerate and attack at the same time? No. It has to be some combination of using the accelerate button. And we're low on fuel again, so we'll pull over and see what we can find. Look at all that crap down there. Just crap everywhere on the road. Going for a leisurely stroll. Oh. Body armor out. Some helpful food, even though I didn't check the Geiger counter again, and I need to remember to do that. Okay, how's this doing? Looks good. Hello? Oh, bugger off. I think I saw a mine right here. I did. There's another one over there. We haven't gotten any fuel yet, have we? No, we haven't. More food, though. Oh! And then we just stepped on a mine. Always a great idea. There's some gas. That should see us for a little ways at least. And then Shotgun Lady mysteriously disappears as we get back in our car. Go get a missile! That's right! And there are 500 million more helicopter friends where that came from. You could almost make a show about it. Or motorcycle and helicopter friends. But we're coming up on another town, so that means more supplies. Here we were. What happened? We were just pulling over to go into the town. We're driving backwards, but now we're gonna drive forwards. I guess we must have hit one of these poles going a bit too fast. I thought maybe they were over far enough to where we would miss them. So does that mean that we skip the town now? We don't get to explore another friendly, fun town of friendliness? And we don't have any rockets? Where are we anyhow? Let's check the map. Yeah, it looks like we completely skipped that town. And we're just weaving every which way on the map. Well, if you ever play this game yourself, remember, don't pull over right in front of telephone poles. I've also noticed that all of the towns seem to be on the left. I guess all of the town designers must have gotten together and agreed on a location to build their towns. That was our only continue, though. And that password we had sets you way back to a town behind us. I don't know if we would have gotten a password at the town we just passed, considering we didn't get to explore the town and find out if we had a password. But I suppose it's on to the next town just the same. Dodging and weaving. Hello, truck. How are you doing? And we're low on gas again, but now we're at another town. But we should be able to make it in time to be able to pull over. Right here. Is that good enough? That's good enough. We still have our Geiger counter, so that's good. And what's that? A faster engine for the car? Come on, guys! I'm trying to pick stuff up. You're not being very friendly here. What is that? Supercharger! So that should speed up the car. But we very much need a bit of food. Was he taking more than 2 hits? Was he taking more than 2 hits? There's 1, 2... Well, that seemed about normal. I guess we just need to make sure we hit them correctly. Okay, we passed out from hitting a box. Big oops. Big oops there. Game over. Hooray! Don't hit boxes! They'll make you pass out. So, yes, avoid the boxes, my friends. Remember that. Big score time. Retro. Space. Sega. I don't think Wonder Show will fit in there, so we'll just call it good. Well, that's going to do it for this video and this stream. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, liking and subscribing are wonderful things to do. And tune in again next time for more fun.